Welcome back to the EchoVideo podcast. I'm your host, Hunter Tapley. Joining me as always is Bart. Fucking brewing is so fucking difficult. I've always wanted to do it. I tried doing it with cider, but holy sweet mother of fuck. It's really, really difficult. It's a lot of biology and science and stuff where it's you can't let the liquid hit light. You have to leave it in a dark area. So if you're brewing in one of those giant water jugs, you have to fucking have it completely covered so it doesn't get light can't see it. It has to be in a warm space. Yeah. It's really weird. And cleaning, everything has to be fucking sanitized. That's the brewer's main tip because it can really affect your flavor. And the chemicals you use, I think they use something called Star San, which is a non-rinse cleaner. So you clean it all and then you don't have to rinse it. You just wait for the suds to come off and then you can fucking just use it from there. And everything that touches the liquid needs to be sanitized first. So if you are using a spoon, you have to sanitize it. If you're using a fucking... And it's very, very complicated. And then the other thing I learned was... I haven't tried brewing actual beer with actual ingredients. I've fucking done the toilet wine. Nice. Prison Wine Pruno. Which was fun. I did it over COVID. And
was rest... a YouTube video you were following? Or?
Yeah, I've seen a couple of YouTube videos about it, and I just thought, what the hell, because it seemed kind of funny. And when you do the YouTube video, the recipe I followed was 2 cans of fruit cocktail, a ton of oranges. I put in, I think, 6 oranges, 2 cans of fruit cocktail, an apple, just for the hell of it, and then a bunch of ketchup. And then 6 cups of sugar. And then you mash it.
You had me until the ketchup.
The ketchup was optional, but I kind of did it anyways because it sounded funny. And you need it for the sugar content, right? So then you mash it up and I did it in a plastic bag, so I had an easy time with this. You mash it up like crazy. So it's all juice and pulp. And then you add your yeast. And I think you add a couple cups of water to it as well. I can't really remember, but then you put your yeast in. And then once your yeast is in there, you just leave it. I covered it in a towel and put it in my bathtub. And you have to leave it in a super like a room temperature environment because it'll kill the yeast off. And you have to check on it and burp that bag because if you don't, holy fuck, did it ever reek. So I left mine for about 10 days. And I think after 5, you open it and you add 3 more cups of sugar. And then throughout those days, you have to kind of massage the bag and whatnot. So then I did it. I remember we double strained it when it was done. And it was a cloudy orange liquid, almost brown. And I remember just trying it a little bit. And I was like, oh, what's it like? It felt like there was really, really fine sand in the liquid. And I was like, oh, what is that? And then I left it in the fridge for a day to cool. And then when I came back to look at it, there was about that much on the bottom of the bottle.
Is that the sill?
That was the sill. All that fucking dead yeast and fruit pulp.
Just gulping that up?
And I was like, I don't know what that is. I'm going to mix so I shook the bottle and just drank the whole thing.
Dude. That's gross.
And I was like, after reading what that was, I kind of regret doing that, but it was just,
it was, lived to tell the tale.
It really would. It tasted like, it wasn't as bad as you might think it tasted though, honestly.
Do you have some left?
No, it's it would be so fucking foul if there is, because it'd probably be, it's a couple of years. I did that at the start of COVID.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the summer before our camping trip.
Just in case the LCBO closed down.
Yeah, exactly.
Just in case. The man's got to fend for himself.
Mm-hmm. Anyways, welcome back to EchoVideo Podcast. I'm your host, Hunter. Joining me as always is Bart. Bart, how's your week been? Feels like it's been a while. It feels like it's been a lot longer.
Yeah, me too.
I don't know if it's
been a long week.
Yeah, it's been a bit of a rough week. How was your week?
Jeez. My week, all my weekdays kind of fucking suck. I'm not gonna lie to you. I just work. But the weekend, I went over to Miranda's mom's place, and it was a very nice time for Christmas cheer. You know, we put up all the Christmas ornaments. We were sipping some eggnog, hanging out, watching some Christmas movies. It was very chill. It was very nice.
That's good.
Yesterday, though, plan was to go to a concert. They're a Swedish progressive metal band called Soen. And I was going to go with a bunch of buddies of mine. It's going to be a good time. And so at like 12:30 yesterday, I was at work, right? Because I thought the concert was Thursday. My buddy's like, hey, I'm probably going to, pick you up around 3:30. And I was like, all right, that's cool. I thought that was about, tomorrow, so I was going to deal with it after work. And then at like 3:30, he calls me. He's like, hey, man, are you almost ready? And I'm like, what are you talking about? It's like, I'm almost here. You ready to go to Toronto for the concert? I'm like, oh, fuck. So I just installed Teams on my phone to like stay online. Haphazardly got in the car and I even had to take a fucking call with my manager in the car. It was a bit awkward, man. But finally made it there, all in one piece.
And where was
came together?
Was it at Rebel?
No, it was at Lee's Palace.
Oh, okay.
On Bloor. So it was first time there. It was nice. 5 minutes from that, it's like a little South Korean barbecue place. We went there. Bomb.
Yeah.
And yeah, concert was great. Had a great time. Got a sick shirt and got their latest record signed by all the band members.
Oh, hell yeah.
Fucking cool.
Yeah, that's sick.
Yeah, that was yesterday. Unexpected. It was supposed to be today. So here I am. How about you, man? How was your week?
Not bad. I went to, like I said last week, went to Niagara Falls on Thursday, which was a fucking trip and a half.
I was going to say, I'm glad you're here, man. I wasn't sure we were going to make it back.
So for those of you that are tuning in that aren't from Ontario or Buffalo, there was a fucking horrific snowstorm called for in Niagara on Saturday, which was like supposedly 50 centimeters of snow. And luckily it really kind of was over exaggerated. I think Buffalo got hit the worst. Niagara probably got about 30 centimeters, which is still a fucking lot of snow, but not the 50 centimeters. But anyway, so we left on Thursday. Thursday was fine. They called for snow a little later in the night. No snow, but
were you driving?
I didn't drive down. No, Julia drove down. We left, which was kind of a pain because I was ready to go at 8. Like I thought we were heading down really, really early, but then a whole bunch of errands needed to be completed in Huntsville before we fucking left, and I was like, yay. And then there was just a moment where we just kind of sat at her house for a good hour and a half. I'm not really sure what we were doing, but I was just kind of like, can we please leave? I was really nervous about the snow. Anyways, we went down. Driving up to Toronto was fine, but once you hit that fucking 400, man, I don't know what the deal with the 400 is, but once you hit that highway, everybody,
postal, man, for no reason.
Everyone is just fucking a new level of asshole, and it's just like, bruh, people are like we hit traffic. I didn't think we'd hit traffic. It was maybe 1 o'clock on a Thursday afternoon. Get the fuck to work. What are you doing? It was
of the day.
We hit traffic. We were stuck in traffic for probably about an hour and a half. We also got lost a couple times because the fucking highway directions confused the fuck out of me. It's like it just confused me. We missed a couple turns.
Is chaos, man. Especially when you get the 6 lanes going. I'll just gamble on one of them, honestly.
Dude, it's crazy. So we made it down. Thankfully, we got there. I think around 4:30 or so. We checked into the hotel, the Sheraton Hotel, which is like right on kind of the main strip of Niagara, Ontario, with all the tourist shit and stuff.
Right on.
And we went there, and then we were looking for some place to eat because when we showed up, we were fucking starving. Like we didn't eat the whole ride down. So we walk up the main street, the strip, and there was a Rainforest Cafe, which is something I really wanted to go to. We didn't end up eating there on Thursday, but we ate at Boston Pizza. And Boston Pizza, man, we got in there and we look at the fucking prices at the food, and they must upcharge in fucking Niagara Falls because holy sweet mother of fuck. Like, you look at the price, and they have the two prices listed, and this is the biggest fucking cucking in Canada. You see the fucking price for the U.S. and Canadian. It's like U.S. $10, Canada $50,000.
Yeah,
it's like get the fuck out of here.
Same on books, man. I hate going to Indigo, and it's like, oh, it's only $17,
Yeah.
and then it's like, oh, Canadian $35. Fuck.
You look at the fucking Canadian prices,
Such a
it's
pain
like
in the ass.
$85. You're like, why the U.S. only got to pay $5 for this? So.
Yeah.
You know what, though? The good news was, at least they got my pronouns right, you know? So
Hey, there you go.
that's what we fucking voted for. Awesome.
That's what matters. Better priorities.
Jesus. No, that was fucking... So Boston Pizza was pretty fucking expensive, but Boston Pizza's always expensive. We went to...
Not worth it.
Yeah, so we did a couple of the tourist things on the main strip. Have you ever been to Niagara Falls?
I went once in like 2014. It's like I don't know, we were still pretty new here, so it's more of like a touristy trip. So I have been, but I don't really remember it.
Okay. So there's a lot of tourist stuff there. There's the Wax Museum, some haunted houses and stuff like that. We were going to do a haunted house, but I heard the haunted houses there are kind of shitty. So we did the Wax Museum, Louis Toussaint's Wax Museum, Wizards Mini Golf, and we did one more. What was the other one? Fuck, what was I? I'm literally drawing a blank right now.
Oh shit, I couldn't tell.
Oh, it was the Bird Kingdom.
Oh yeah.
So the Bird Kingdom, it was kind of like a zoo, but it was just a lot of birds, and I think there was a couple turtles and stuff. Like there's a lot of more smaller animals. The Bird Kingdom was super fun. That if you go to Niagara Falls, go to the fucking Bird Kingdom, man. It's awesome.
Oh shit. Okay.
They have like a lot of macaws and stuff, and some like really cool birds you wouldn't really expect to see. The one thing is you get to the main aviary, I don't know what the fuck to say, the main zone with all the birds. And we're walking, you walk in a straight line and you can't really turn around, like, which is kind of the shittiest part about it. Like you can't revisit any of the exhibits. Once you leave, you're destined to go to the next one. So spend as much time as you can in each little area.
Noted.
And anyway, so we went to the main aviary and we're walking, and this fucking magpie hit me right in the fucking head. I was shit. Jesus, like it hit me. I was like, what the fuck was that? And I look over, there's this stupid fucking magpie laughing at me. I'm like, fucking Jesus.
Damn. Oh man, that's a bad omen, eh?
Yeah.
Magpies, the birds of the devil or something like that.
The magpie are Australia's crow or something. I have no idea. They're like crows with white backs. They're weird.
Yeah. They're pretty birds, though.
Yeah. Yeah, and then they had a ton of really fucking cool birds there. I can't really explain them all. There was like a blue macaw, a golden pheasant, which was pretty cool. And there were these ones, they weren't peacocks, but they were kind of walking on the ground. Like they were more like land-based birds. And people are fucking trying to pet it, and it's like running away. And there's like this little kid chasing them all around. And I'm just like, fuck, dude. No one's stopping it either. It's like... It's what, like, I don't want to be Captain Fun, but it's like, guys, this bird has like fucking talons, like knife blades on its feet. If it turns around and if it jumps at your kid, man, it's gonna cut his fucking eyes out. Like,
jeez.
Use your heads. But they're all trying to pet them and shit, and I'm just like, oh, I don't want anything to do with this because those birds can be pretty fucking aggressive sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
They probably be used to being around people, but. Anyways, the Wizards Golf was fun too. Probably the best deal. I think it was $11 a person. Everything else was
mini golfing actually fun? I've never been, but I always see it in like movies as like a first date, and everybody always has a ball. Is it actually fun?
Mini golf is fun. You have to kind of go with the right people.
Oh, yeah.
And you have to go to I find it's fun when there's not a lot of people at the course, because waiting on golf holes is the fucking worst.
Oh yeah, that would fucking suck.
We went, and Wizards Golf was really, really busy. It was all indoor, which was nice, but 18 holes, pretty busy. We had a college group in front of us, and then a fucking school, like a public school group behind us. And the college kids were loud, but they were respectful of other players. The other kids behind us were like driving balls. One of them hit me in the fucking leg.
Oh, fuck.
And it didn't, like, it just fucking bounced and hit me. So and they're lucky because the guy behind us, like the guy and his girlfriend behind us, were getting fucking really heated because another golf ball drove in front of us, hit the wall. The dude was like,
lunatics.
The dude was like, if you do that again, you're fucking paying for it. Like, he was getting really heated.
Yeah.
But no, and then the worst part was like those little fucking kids kind of ruined the experience for us. But they were like the guide that was with them, the adult, was kind of encouraging it too. Like, the kid drove the golf ball halfway across this like tiny ass room, and you just hear the guy, "Whoa, that was a good hit, man." It's like,
oh,
dude,
bruh,
you can hit. There's like babies in here, people with strollers, like.
Yeah, if I can knock out Granny down the drive range.
Yeah.
Fuck.
And like, it's all indoors, so this shit fucking hits a wall, ricochets off. It's like, god damn it, man.
That's a lethal weapon.
Yeah. And the sad part was there's all these like displays, like there's all these dragons made out of like foam and stuff, and you can see where people have like hit them with their golf clubs. So they're all like, the faces are all fucking dented and destroyed, and it's like, come on. Like,
There's nothing better though than hitting something with a golf club.
Yeah,
it's a nice pelt.
That's true.
And it bounces back.
Yep.
And hits you in the temple, and you almost die.
When I hit you with the fucking golf club.
I thought I was actually gonna die.
Luckily, it was on the wind up and not the swing.
Yeah, that would have probably just cracked my skull open. So thankful for that.
I'm surprised you weren't bleeding, and you didn't have a goose egg either, dude. I've seen people get hit, and they have like another fucking human growing out of their head.
Dude, I just went down. I just remember that. And then I remember eating some ice cream on the couch because your mom got me some. Sweetheart. Yeah, crazy. I was right above the temple, too. I was like, oh, that was a close one.
Dude, I remember we got in a rock fight, me and some friends from my public school. Like,
dude, there really is nothing else to do in Huntsville, eh? We're fucking primal over there. Like,
this was fucking...
Throw the rock, catch the rock.
I think this was the same year I hit you with the golf club, but it was over the summer. Like, a couple months later, we got in a rock fight, me and these other kids at the beach, and I fucking hit this girl in the head who was like being a real big taunter. Like, she was like, "You can't hit me." And I remember, like, I was, for the record, not throwing very hard. I was doing mild throws, and I think I hit her. Everyone says I hit her. I'm sure I didn't, but whatever. I hit her, and I remember it was just boom, and then she's on the ground, and we all run over. There was like a baby growing out of her head. I was like, what the fuck? Ew! And we're all fucking making fun of her. And then anyways, she died, and then we had a great time. But
there you go. Her corpse. The rock was like lodged under her skin.
Yeah, dude, it could have been, honestly, but I think it was just the swelling. Crazy.
Damn, yeah, I didn't have that, thankfully.
Anyway, so
work on your swing.
So we did fucking Wizards Golf. We did the Wax Museum. I'll kind of speed through this, but we did the Wax Museum. Wax Museum was fine. It was really, really fucking cheesy. There was a horror section, and when you go through the horror section, the gate, I guess, is made to slam behind you to jump scare you, and that scared the shit out of me. Walking through it was fine, but when you get to the alien, like the Ripley, like the fucking xenomorph area.
Oh, they actually have.
Oh yeah, it's all licensed and stuff. All licensed, like, and
sick.
actors and political figures and stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
You walk through the alien section. There was like a jet of air that like goes and sprays you when you walk through. Scared the fuck out of me. I was like, what the? But it was pretty fun. So we did that, and then the highlight, we went to the Rainforest Cafe. Last one in Canada is the one in Niagara Falls. I think it's privately owned. We got to sit across from the gorillas, and I gotta say, man, I remember Rainforest Cafe being a lot cooler. Like, this one they had, like, I remember vividly as a kid going here, and it was like really, really ambient, and they had jungle ambience playing. In this one, they had the ambience playing, but they had fucking pop music playing over top of that and louder.
Oh,
so you heard like the top 10 hits, while you heard like a monkey fucking beating its chest. And then it was like, come on, we can't have the jungle ambience. And then the thunderstorm, so depending on the Rainforest Cafe you go to, every 20 minutes or so a thunderstorm happens and all the animals go fucking wild. Okay. But I remember it going really, really dark. like the lights dimmed almost completely, and then you'd have the lights would flash and it would look like thunder happening and stuff. It was a ton of fun. But this one, they dimmed the lights slightly, so it wasn't even dark, and it was just kind of a little disappointing from what I remember as a kid, but still pretty cool to go to.
That sounds pretty sweet. I'll check it out.
The food was fine. The food was fine. The wait staff was really good, but the prices were really fucking expensive.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
Especially
was the gorilla exhibit cool, or was it just like one sad gorilla with a tiger?
No, it was they're animatronics at the Rainforest Cafe.
Oh, I thought they had like a little zoo exhibit.
You thought it
like
was
some actual.
real.
I thought they were like terrorizing them with the lightning. I was like, that sounds kind of rude.
They have a fish tank with live fish, and they had a shark in it, which was cool.
Oh, okay.
And like I think they have a giant moray eel, like a giant eel.
Oh, that's sick.
And yeah, we walked up to it.
Oh, that's not an eel. That's a stingray. Never mind.
No, not an eel. They had not a stingray. They had a giant eel and a shark, which was pretty cool.
Oh, that's sweet.
It's not bad. It wasn't bad. It was fine. Like I remember it being a little bit more fun and atmospheric as a kid, but it was still pretty fun. And then the last kind of little bit of the trip, we were sleeping, and the fucking fire alarm went off in the hotel room at like 6 a.m. And it was the scariest fire alarm. Like it sounded like a war siren. And I remember I was kind of already up, and I just kind of remember thinking to myself, I honestly thought it was my girlfriend's alarm on her phone, and I was like, that's a rather aggressive alarm to wake up to. And then she flew out of bed and was kind of freaked out about the alarm. I was literally packed. I threw my pajama pants in my backpack, put my pants on, grabbed my bag, and I was all ready to go from there. And then we ran down the stairs. Only people in the stairwell, for a while. Went to the lobby. We hung out in the lobby for about 2.5 hours, waiting for the alarm to stop, everyone to get the all clear. Oh, yeah. And people were very, very upset about the alarm. Like there was one guy, we went in the elevator, one guy was kind of like freaking out. He's all, I can't believe this. This is unacceptable. I'm getting a free room for this. This is unacceptable. And he's like trying to complain to me like, how that's so silly. This is, and then I'm just like, buddy,
public safety.
I'm just like, buddy, you're complaining to the wrong fucking guy. Like I was up already, and it was
you're ready to go.
Like 6 o'clock honestly isn't that early to me. Like, I mean, it's better than fucking 4 or 3 in the morning.
Yeah, I guess that's true. You can at least start your day, right? You don't have to be like, fuck, what do I do now?
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, guys, like, but people were fucking really pissed off and freaking out. Some people didn't even come down on the alarm. There was like maybe 15 people in the lobby. So it was like, Jesus.
I wouldn't risk that, man.
But yeah, so that was fun.
I would happily.
And then we made it home safe, and now we're here. And there we go. That was my trip to Niagara Falls. Pretty fun.
Made it there and back again in one piece. I'm glad. Exactly. I wasn't sure if I was going to be doing this episode by myself.
The lonely episode.
Yeah, it's just me hanging out.
Hunter's dead. You have to get the Ouija.
The next EchoVideo podcast is the funeral.
Ouija board edition. You have to get the Ouija board. And contact me that way. Exactly.
Hey, yo, Hunter, what's good? I hope you haunt me if you die early. I would expect that of you.
I probably will.
Thank you.
The only thing is at my funeral, make sure that I have like the most baller ass position. Put me up in a high five position so people have to high five me.
Oh yeah,
in the casket.
Can't leave you hanging. That's awkward.
Exactly.
Or do like the Hulk Hogan pose, something like that. Something that just conveys power and energy.
Exactly. All right, what are we talking about this week? Fucking microwave massacre.
Yes.
Fuck, 1979.
Filmed in 1979, released
before we do a
1983.
plot. I think it was I don't know. I'm reading 1979, but I also read 1980.
Oh. Yeah, I saw that it was filmed in 79, and then it was released in the U.S. in 83, but it probably was released earlier elsewhere.
Most likely, yeah. All right, well, we'll say 1980. Did you watch Frosty the Snowman before you watched this? Did you notice the distinction? And would you like to share what that similarity was?
Okay, so I was a bit sus about it because it's such a pure, close to home Frosty the Snowman, and you got the fucking Microwave Massacre. So I was trying to figure out what the distinction was, like what was the fucking correlation between them. I didn't look anything up.
Good.
So I watched Frosty the Snowman, had a good time of it. Of course, it's fucking great. But then I've watched Microwave Massacre, and I didn't actually catch on that it was the same voice that we have fucking
so the main character, Jackie Vernon is the main character in Microwave Massacre, and it's also
10
the
years
voice
after voicing Frosty
of Frosty the Snowman, which is super funny because the best part is that the voice is like he's not doing a character, like it's his normal speaking voice.
Yeah, he's just talking. Yeah.
So it's really, really funny and really obvious.
I was initially really scared that this is a pretty, promiscuous film, we'll call it, I guess. I was really scared that one of the child actors grew up to be in this one and flaunted her titties and then got murdered. I thought that was going to happen. And I was really happy that wasn't the case because that would have been a lot sadder. So
yeah, dude, I don't know what I was expecting with this movie. I honestly expected a movie that was going to take itself seriously and then be goofy in the process. And then, we start the movie immediately with the woman with rather big titties.
Let me do a quick plot crunch.
Okay, yeah, do a quick
plot
plot crunch and we'll discuss our favorite moments.
Alrighty. The film synopsis. So, construction worker Donald is having a hard time getting anything good to eat since his wife has decided to only cook gourmet food. That and her constant harping caused him to snap and whack her, so killing her. Somewhere in the confusion, he comes up with a new use for the microwave oven and begins to eat much better. Soon, he's experimenting with different recipes and different meats. So, he kills his wife, cooks her in the microwave, eats her. And then he kind of gets a taste for human flesh, and the plot kind of comes out of that. It's not really a plot. It's fucking bonkers. The whole thing is insane.
Dude, this movie was fucking insane. This was the weirdest movie.
Every time I thought I had kind of all right, now I know where things are going. It fucking just fucks off in the opposite direction.
So I guess first thing, this is a comedy. This is not a horror movie. This is a dark, what I'm reading is a black comedy horror film. This is more so a comedy, especially in today's age, than a horror film.
Definitely.
When I watched this, like I said, I thought this was going to be a serious horror movie that took itself serious and then in the process was really, really silly. And right at the beginning of the movie, you kind of get the feeling of this movie in the beginning. It starts off, you got this fucking woman with big titties walking down the street.
Nice.
And and she's just continually walking down the street. She goes to a construction site and then some guy or something pushes her up against the wall.
Looks like fucking Eric Andre.
Yeah, and then she starts getting they start having sex against a board of wood and her boobs get pressed through a hole in the wood. And then that part was weird. But the weirder part was when you see Jackie Vernon pull out an entire loaf of bread with a full-ass crab on it. I was like,
and a whole head of lettuce. I was like, what the fuck is this man eating?
Dude, I saw that and I was like, okay, this is definitely a movie that's going to not... as soon as I saw the big-ass crab in the sandwich, I was like, okay, I don't think this is going to take itself very seriously.
It's very clearly a plastic crab, too. You can see the lining on the side of where they put the plastic pieces together.
Oh, my God.
Incredible.
It's so ridiculous. And the whole plot is, I'm pretty sure Jackie Vernon's character just wants a bologna and cheese sandwich.
Yeah. He just wants a simple meal.
And his wife just keeps cooking fucking weird ass food in this massive microwave. Holy fuck.
Fucking huge, dude. That's bigger than my oven.
Dude, yeah, it's a fucking huge microwave. Crazy. Crazy. What were your thoughts on this?
This movie is kind of chaos from start to finish. So yeah, just in the antics of Jackie Vernon trying to quench his thirst for a good meal, he ends up just going around basically just murdering women who are prostitutes, sex workers, or are just very slutty girls, I guess, in the movie. And it's just kind of like a montage of that, and then there's a bit of a little subplot where he begins to eat the meat and then shares it with his coworkers, the one that we previously brought up.
Yeah.
And everybody's super happy, just like, oh wow, man, this is really good, you know, keep this coming our way. And they just have, he just goes on like a fucking
killing spree.
I don't know. He goes on a killing spree.
A killing sex spree or something, and he's just microwaving women left and right.
Yeah, and this beautiful quote really sums it up. So he goes to a bar and he's kind of like complaining. Or not, no, this is after he goes to a therapist because he's killed a few women. He's unsure if he should, you know, be safe to roam the streets. He says to the therapist, who's asleep, most guys are upset because they have to take a girl out for dinner before they can have sex with them. I have it even worse. I have sex with them and then I have to eat them. So that really sums up where this movie is at.
So goofy.
So super goofy. And yeah, it's a lot of, I don't know if it's exploitation, but a lot of just nude chicks, you know, just titties everywhere, ass and titties. But it's about halfway through the movie where he kills his wife and then, you know, puts her in a microwave, eats her up. And it's so funny. It's so noticeable because the first half of the movie, it's like Marriage Story. It's just domestic abuse. It's really kind of upsetting. Like he's just a complete cunt to his wife the whole time.
Yeah.
Like there's this one meal that she makes for him that's so fucking funny. She brings it out and then she turns the lights off to like turn on the candles, make it all romantic, and he's like, "Oh, there's no use, May. I've already seen it." The fucking meal. He's just mean to her. And then but sorry, I was gonna say that it's so clear the distinction. He's so miserable in the first half, and as soon as he kills her, he's just a happy-go-lucky dude. He's just murdering and fucking anything that moves. He's just a jolly guy. He's happy.
I'm just before, I gotta give a shout out to the guy in Zambia, Lucica, for downloading the podcast. What the fuck?
Oh, hell yeah.
Who the fuck's listening in Zambia? What the fuck? I think that's Africa, right?
I think we're reaching a big audience, man. That's
shout out to that guy.
We haven't in
if
Africa.
You're listening to this, we appreciate you
very
really much. What the
Thank
fuck?
you for being a loyal supporter of the EchoVideo podcast.
I don't know. I was just looking at the.
No, that's all
the
good.
analytics here, and I noticed that. I thought that was funny. Dude, you know what the weirdest? So the wife. The weirdest part about this movie is the Jackie Vernon, his character, plays it so straight. Like, he plays the character so straight, and his wife...
I'm not going to lie, he's excellent in this movie.
He's very good. I did like his performance, but he plays it like such like a straight man character. Like, he's the normal guy, and everybody else in this movie is fucking insane. Like, his wife is like super fucking overacting, which is great overacting, by the way. It's hilarious.
Yes, he does a good
There are
job.
construction workers that are acting like the most stereotypical construction workers of all time.
Yeah.
Like, everything in this movie is fucking insane, and it just keeps getting like better and better. And I found the comedy to be really funny, in all honesty. Like, I won't lie.
There was some good parts.
There was some fucking hilarious moments in this movie, like when he pulls the homeless guys digging through their trash, and he finds a fucking human arm, and his instinction is to scratch his balls with it. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And then what was the other thing? The other weird part that got a chuckle out of me was the massive piece of bread. He like covers a woman in, I would imagine, mayonnaise.
I was thinking the same thing, yeah.
Fucking what looks like fluffernutter, like...
yeah, May's sister comes in suspicious because she hasn't heard of her in a while. And she's not a big fan of what's her, Donald, Jackie Vernon. She's like, oh, you know, where is she? You know, let me see her, Jesus. So he leads her to their bedroom, and he's kept her decapitated head all this time, but it's looking a little bit worse for wear. You know, it's got some more wrinkles than it had before.
It's one of like the worst prosthetics I've ever seen.
It's not great.
It's very off,
not
like,
great.
But it's really funny looking at the same time,
yeah.
Which I kind of feel like was on purpose, but...
Yeah, the things are just so overreacted, and they just go with it so well that it's just like, oh, you know what? No, that's fine. Like the whole crab in the man sandwich. Like, it's just like, okay, you know, I can roll with that.
Yeah.
But yeah, sorry, he hides May's head under the covers so that her sister can come in and be like, oh, hey, there you are, May. But yeah, he comes up behind her with like a fucking sandwich or something, like a mayonnaise and bread. It just pushes it into her mouth, and she just immediately, I don't know, falls unconscious.
He chokes
it's so
her.
strange.
He chokes her with bread, like he forces it
I
into
went to
her
fact
mouth.
check that.
It's so
That's like a way people
crazy.
like just block oxygen or choke you out. I don't know. Apparently not.
It's so fucking goofy, dude. And then then he ties her up and leaves her in the closet for the remainder of the movie, and she's just got this moldy ass piece of bread, which gets more and more moldy as the fucking film continues.
And she's just sitting there.
The funny dude. Okay, quick side story about fucking moldy bread. So my buddy, who's been on the podcast before, I think he'd be okay if I name dropped him. Parker. He's been on the podcast before. In our first year of college, I remember we were going to go grocery shopping, and he's like, dude, I found a loaf of bread in my apartment. I was like, oh, that's cool. He's like, yeah, I think I've had it since the starting of the year because it was totally green. And I was like, okay, I've seen moldy bread. And I was like, dude, show me a photo of it. So he goes home, he takes a picture of it. Motherfucker, that bag had an atmosphere. Like, there was life growing on this bread. I'll include a photo of this in the podcast because it is so fucking funny. He sent me it was a neon green, purely green loaf of bread in a bag. And I was like, that is disturbingly green.
Dude, that's how the fucking Black Plague started. It's shit like that.
Dude. I think that it may be the source of COVID. Like, it was that green.
We found it, ladies and gentlemen.
Dude, the fact that the bag had an atmosphere meant there was life on that bread. I bet you if he left it for the rest of the year, there would have been a baby growing off that thing. Like,
it's the next president of the United States.
Dude, it was so fucking funny. And man, we gotta have him back on the show. We gotta have a guest on the show that doesn't fucking cancel on us. But
yeah, and then leave the group chat, and then block us, and then delete his Facebook. Yeah, that would be cool.
Fucking guy. But what can we do? We gotta have a guest one of these days. But anyway, anyways.
Man. Sorry. You go ahead.
No, you go first. Dude. You go first.
I had this it wasn't really an intrusive thought. The fucking dog, Napoleon. As the second I fucking saw that stupid little dog, I thought of Cooper, your aunt's dog.
Yeah,
like, that's fucking him.
The hairless dog. Dog's got no hair.
The top-down shot of the dog, and it's just sitting there. It's all skinny, and its little tongue is out. It's like bloop. It's
so
sad.
Dumb. He's so freaking
sad.
Completely hairless.
Yeah.
He's very old, and it's very sad to watch him because he's just so old now.
Yeah.
Like he's maybe got a year left. If that, sad. So it's kind of a bummer.
Oh, it's funny when May's like, oh, the dog eats better than you. And then he's like, you know what? You're right. And then he starts eating dog food. He brings whole cans of dog food to work the next day.
Yeah.
Just
and
having a little snack.
Then the fucking dogs are joining him for lunch, which I thought was funny.
Yeah, you have the other construction worker who just landed this hottie. He's like making out with her by the some fucking post or something, and then he's hanging out with the dog.
The best part was when the guy's hitting on the woman, and she's like, "Oh, who's he? What's his number?" And there's like this dude picking up a full metal girder that's like this fucking like super ripped guy.
Yeah.
And they walk up, and I think the joke was that he was gay.
I think so.
But anyways, he had like a really high-pitched voice and was like, now I'm going to break out in a rash because the woman touched him.
Yeah.
I was like, what the fuck? Oh, my God. And you know what else I like? This movie was only a fucking hour and 16 minutes. This wasn't a very long movie.
To the point.
Like, this wasn't a long movie, and it was super, super silly. Like...
Mm-hmm. It was just fucking mindless fun to watch.
Dude,
there was one scene actually that was kind of horror. It just made me squirm when he was making the kebabs and he had like the onion and the pepper and the eggplant and then the whole hand and the spike goes through it so nicely. It's like, ooh, yuck.
Yeah, it was. I mean, I wasn't really personally scared by this movie. I would say,
Yeah.
like, if I had to pick a part that kind of scared me, I'd have to say probably the part where he's eating the hand and he's, like, actually, like, ripping into it like it's a, like,
Yeah,
really
like
tough
raw
meat.
flesh.
Like,
Yeah.
instead of just, like, an apple, like, a bite and then done, he's kind of, like, actually pulling at, like,
Yeah.
firm meat, which was kind of a neat detail. I don't know if that was done on purpose or not, but I did like that detail, and it was kind of like, oh, you know, that's kind of cool. Like, if that was on purpose, I respect it.
Very
But
good job. Oh man, this had me laughing. I think when after he kills his wife, Jackie goes out and he sees one of the girls that we saw previously in the film, but she's dressed up as in a chicken costume,
oh yeah,
like advertising outside of one of those fast food places.
yeah,
And then you have a fucking fire truck drive by, and I'm 100% sure that was unscripted because they just try to yell louder so they can still pick up the audio.
yeah.
But you see like 2 fire trucks go by. It's so funny.
I remember that, and the
I got
first
a good laugh
line
out of
of
that.
what was the first line of dialogue? I remember it kind of.
Oh,
I
jeez.
remember it pulling my attention because it was just like either it was like really poorly recorded or just kind of out of nowhere.
It would have been directed at the girl, right? I think as she was walking into the
Yeah, it was
construction.
one of his coworkers.
Yeah. It's probably something way out of left field.
Yeah, I'll have to check it out. I think this movie's totally free on YouTube. If anyone wants to check it out, I think the whole thing's on YouTube. Or you can buy... There is a Blu-ray. EchoVideo or Arrow Films? EchoVideo or Arrow Films did a Blu-ray of the film, and it's a very well done transfer. And if you do end up wanting to purchase it, there is that option.
Oh man. Okay, this I don't know. We might have to cut this. This might be way offside. I was just more taken aback and laughing when Philip, like the other black construction worker, finds out about the serial killer, Donald, and that he rapes the women and then kills them, and they find out that he's finally. That's fucked up. He's rapes a black woman, and then Philip's like, oh, now that's my kind of guy, an equal opportunity rapist. Oof.
Oh my... I didn't catch that.
You didn't catch that?
No.
Oh my god, man. I was like, whoa.
Jesus Christ. Oh my god.
I was like, wait a minute. That is the most offside reaction I've ever heard to something like
Yeah,
that.
that's a bit... That's pretty
Insane.
whack. That is very whack.
That's pretty wacky. There's so many like little goofy things in this movie. Like when he's killing his wife, he first strangles her, and then gets like a salt shaker out to beat her further, and then tosses some salt over his shoulder for bad luck. Like it's just I don't know. It's silly. It's funny.
It's very good. It's very, very silly. It's super fun to watch. I honestly had a lot of fun watching it. More fun than I thought.
Yeah.
I thought this
Me
would
too.
be like... I honestly thought this was going to be a movie that took itself too seriously.
Mhm.
It's super funny. Even at the times when there's no... Like, I thought this was going to be a movie where the kills were the highlight of the film. But honestly, I thought the comedy was the highlight of the film. I honestly thought it was really good comedy. I had a really good laugh at it. If you're in the mood for just a stupid comedy that... Like, you don't really have to have your mind on for, you'll enjoy this movie. I had a good time with it, and I honestly would watch this again.
Yeah, it's definitely something new, something unexpected. Yeah, I had a really unexpectedly very good time of it, and especially because it is so short that it is easy to rewatch and just show it to other people. So it's a fun movie.
Yeah, for
Good
sure.
suggestion.
I just realized we forgot to do recommendations, what we watched in the week. Did you have anything you'd want to recommend, or?
Watch the World Cup. No, that's all I've been doing. That's been consuming all my time. Yeah, Belgium just won against Canada. Canada's very first match, 1-0. But Canada, they played well. So I think they'll still make it out of into the 16.
You think so?
I think so.
Well,
How about you,
good luck,
Benny?
Canada. Something that I've watched or recommend. I mean, God of War Ragnarok I'd recommend. I felt like I was a little too harsh on it recently, but I do really enjoy the game.
Oh man, speaking of God of War, I was talking to my buddy who I went to the concert with yesterday, and he's playing God of War on the PlayStation 4, and he says that it is suffering many more performance issues, and it's got more bugs and more crashes. So I think I will hold off until the PlayStation 5, and I would recommend others also hold off then.
Sounds good. I thought because it looked like it looked like the old it looked like the PS4 one. Like
He
it
said
looks
the exact same thing, which is funny to reused assets.
it looked so similar to the old one. I figured it would play pretty much like I figured it would play well. Like it might not look as great, but it might play well. But oh yeah, what's your opinion on Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, dude?
Oof,
Dude.
Upset. This is the first time I haven't bought a Pokemon game in the first week of its release, and I'm actually kind of
dude.
upset
I'm
about it.
actually disgusted at what I saw. Like because
It's
you
broken,
texted me.
man. It's like fucking Cyberpunk.
I would have bought it. No joke.
I was going out that very day, and then I clicked all those reviews in. And I was like, oof.
I had just bought the PS5, and I was like, I'm gonna hold off. Maybe I'll get it for Christmas. And then you texted me like, there's a ton of performance issues. I looked it up, and from what I heard and read, it wasn't even. I thought for sure it was Switch it was issue of the Switch hardware. Dude, it was just lack of development. Like it was just totally.
It
Game
needed like
Freaks.
6 more months, man.
Dude, it's on it. Yeah, like Cyberpunk levels bad when Cyberpunk first released. Dude, I was honestly kind of disgusted at what I saw, and I mean. In all fairness, when I liked Legends Arceus. I thought it was steps in the right direction, and I truthfully believed that Scarlet and Violet would have been a turning point for Pokemon.
That's what I was hoping.
Dude, I'm a little bit more of an optimist than most people. I fully believed that this was going to be like the first game that was like, this is Pokemon on Switch, like the gotta have it Pokemon game in a while.
Mm-hmm.
And I was very much wrong.
Yeah.
And
it's disappointing. Well, especially with Nintendo, because they still have like the one save system, and every save overrides other saves. So if you get into a game-breaking bug, you have to restart your entire game.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
Dude, that's brutal. And I don't even think I don't know who's to blame at it. I don't think it's fully Nintendo's fault. I do believe it's Game Freak's. Game Freak is to blame, but no, it's honestly unacceptable that a game, especially in this time and year, that a game that unfinished got released, especially after Cyberpunk. Yeah. Like, you'd believe after a fuck-up that big, there would not be any more fuck-ups of this caliber.
Well, Nintendo is issuing refunds, if you request one for Pokemon.
Okay.
It's crazy.
Yeah, that's good. So,
yeah, it's good.
And from what I've read, I don't think Game Freak has any plans to fix it or to patch it just yet. So they haven't really I think they've released one statement saying this is the bugs we're going to fix, but dude, 30 frames per second, and it doesn't even run 30. It runs like more like 25. That's fucking unacceptable.
And the pop-ins, man, and the clipping, and the screen tearing.
Yeah. I'm not a programmer. I can't really speak. From what I heard, they're using an ancient developing system from like shit from the 90s. Like, they don't really use modern developing techniques. They're using more so stuff that was used on like the N64.
Oh, what?
Yeah, like I think something with the NPCs. They're using development techniques that were used on like N64 days, but I don't know too much about it. But end of the day, I hate to be super negative on this show. I mean, I have been negative in the past, but I like the show to be positivity and to kind of look at stuff with a good light. Mm-hmm. But I really can't recommend to buy this. Definitely do not support Game Freak if they're being this fucking stingy about it. When the game is fully patched and corrected, then, and that's only then, if it's a good game, then buy it. But
well, I think Game Freak also issued a statement saying that they hadn't received any issues from customers or complaints or anything like that.
Oh wow!
So they said they have nothing to fix, which is
yeah,
that's not great.
Well, I guess speak with your wallet.
Yeah.
Complain if you have it, right? So I hate to end on a down note, on a kind of a bummer note like that, but
well, we'll stick the landing. We'll announce our next.
Oh yes, next movie. I think it's appropriate. I think the stars have aligned because we usually record on Thursdays. Mm-hmm. I think next Thursday is December 1st. December 1st, International AIDS Awareness Day. Big day for all of us.
Important day.
Support the AIDS. We're going to review a movie I had recently learned about called The L.A. AIDS Jabber. When the hell
Right
was
on.
that? That was the 90s, wasn't it? What year was that? LA AIDS.
It sounds like the 90s. If it's an American-made film like 94, I'm going to put my money on it.
LA AIDS, you were 100% correct. LA AIDS Jabber, 1994.
Holy shit, no way. Damn, I'm fucking amped about that.
A guy who has been diagnosed with AIDS decides to get his revenge on the world by attacking people with a hypodermic needles filled with his blood.
Holy shit.
That is already my
That's a nightmare.
biggest fear of all time. So this is SOV shot on video. The quality is not great, but I am really excited to watch this. I bought this movie.
too.
I'm very
Holy
excited.
shit, you bought it?
I bought the Blu-ray.
Is it feature length? Is it like a full movie?
It's about the same, hour and 18, about the same
Not
as
bad. Okay.
Microwave Massacre.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing it.
Should be
have
fun.
No idea.
Should be a good time. So other than that, I got nothing else to say, really.
No, that's all for me too.
Look forward to that next week. December 1st, Christmas season. Hopefully we'll have some more Christmas-themed episodes coming up. But other than that,
Wonder and cheer.
thank you all for listening, and we'll see you next week on the EchoVideo podcast.
See you next week.